What's up, humans, and welcome to a new Psicoactivo. Happy Friday, everybody. May the 2nd. And I want to welcome every single new member to the Psicoactivo family. I've gotten like 1,500 subs over the last 3 days or so. Thank you so much. If you want to get to know the channel a little better, I would encourage you to go to the tab where you search for code names or keywords and whatever you feel like searching within the phenomenology world. I could guess that I have a little bit of everything. So I hope that you like the content and leave comments and participate in the conversation. There are some of those videos that were time sensitive at the time, not so evergreen, but there are others that are really evergreen. I talk about history a lot. So welcome. Thank you for subscribing. Okay, so yesterday was a pretty intense day, I would say. If you guys want to hear what I have to say about Lou Elizondo presenting that image, we did a live stream on Clint Weldon's The Night Shift, like a panel of sorts. And we had a wonderful conversation for 3 hours. The first 40 minutes, we talk about the Lou case. So that's where you're going to get my impressions of this. What I want to talk about today is different because we got some breaking news, guys. Jeremy Corbell was just on News Nation and he revealed the date when he's going to release part 2 of his interview with whistleblower Matthew Brown. And I managed to ask around for myself because I was really confused on whether he was going through Doxer or he skipped Doxer. And I asked a source that I asked knows about this process and knows Matthew. And they told me that they were really surprised that he came out with some of the details he told Jeremy and George Knapp. So he didn't go through Doxer with some of those statements. And who knows what's coming for part 2. I'm guessing that Corbell sprinkled some of the non-Doxer information throughout the 3 episodes. So we finally have a date. And this is the tweet that Jeremy released. He says, "I'm throwing down hard for all of us because we are all in this together. Pay attention to the specific wording and let's effing go. See the full part 1 of my and George Knapp's interview with the courageous whistleblower Matthew Brown. And get ready for Tuesday on Weaponized." So that's coming out on Tuesday. But this is what he said on News Nation. I want to show you guys because I thought this was pretty significant and interesting. Here it is.
Joining us now is investigative journalist and co-host of the Weaponized podcast, Jeremy Corbell. Jeremy, great to have you back to the show. So you've known Matthew Brown a long time. You actually even brought him into a secret meeting with members of Congress before ImCon was ever publicly revealed. When did this all begin? How did you first meet him?
Yeah, this started a long time ago. As you know, like George Knapp and I, when we work on bringing whistleblowers forward, first thing is protect them, even if they don't protect themselves, and get them heard through the proper channels. So Matthew Brown, you're right. I did bring him into multiple meetings with members before the word was ever uttered publicly. But the point of doing that was to get him vetted and heard so that he could testify to the American public, because that is ultimately what people want. They want to hear what's going on. And he discovered so many things that the public has yet to hear. And that's why we started releasing that testimony now, because he didn't end up testifying at the last hearing, if you recall.
So this is significant because I told you guys that he was supposed to be the one testifying in Congress in November, and Michael Schellenberger took his place, so he didn't. I also heard from the people that know him that when he was going with Jeremy to Congress, he was going in as someone else, just so he could get through and nobody knew who he was. So that was very clever from Corbell and Knapp.
Why didn't he?
Yeah, it's a good question. The last hearing was a little bit bizarre, and I'm really hoping this changes. I know that Representative Luna and Burchett and Burleson, they're working really hard to make sure you hear from firsthand direct whistleblowers this time. I mean, you ask, like, why didn't he last time? He's been willing as an American patriot to come forward and put it all on the line. This is not something that is taken lightly. When you come forward and you expose a program like Immaculate Constellation, which, by the way, for our audience, just to be very clear, It was an intelligence and reconnaissance unacknowledged special access program that focused on collecting footage of UAP and reproduction vehicles from diverse, weaponized, and militarized observation platforms. What that means is it's collecting from all our different assets and bringing them in and culling them in for our government to look at, but secretly and behind Congress's back.
Okay, but you mentioned that the congressmen only want people with direct and firsthand knowledge to be testified.
So this question from the host, I think it's very significant because that's what we've been asking for. And we'll see what Jeremy responds, whether he knows about firsthand knowledge or maybe he has firsthand knowledge.
Does Matthew Brown have direct and firsthand knowledge?
Absolutely. There's different levels of direct and firsthand knowledge. When you discover through accidental exposure an unacknowledged special access program, you try to alert all of your higher command on what's going on, and it falls on deaf ears. When you've gone to Congress, when you've gone into these doors and given testimony and the American public hasn't heard about it yet, it's time to do something. So that's why Matthew Brown is really, he's a courageous person, and I think the public needs to protect and support him.
But the point is because I remember interviewing David Grush when he first came out with his story. And there was a lot of question about with David Grush, what did you exactly see or what were you told was going on? Matthew Brown has direct firsthand knowledge that this program, Immaculate Constellation, is actually happening. He's seen it with his own eyes.
Yes, and even more than that, we are talking thousands of videos and photos, but a lot of videos that the American public hasn't seen of these advanced craft we call UAP that are of unknown origin. So when you've seen those on the inside on classified servers and you are now testifying under oath, by the way, sometimes when you're going into Congress, that is a big deal. That is first-hand knowledge of a cover-up of the UFO phenomenon to the American public.
Okay, so this is good for a debate. And let me ask you right now, do you think that watching these videos in these classified settings or knowing that probably what you're watching is classified, does that count as firsthand knowledge? Or is it possible that these videos may not be real and he just found, I don't know. I wonder what you guys think about that, because this is a big claim from Corbell that Matthew Brown has firsthand knowledge of the secret program. Do you consider that to be firsthand knowledge? Let me know in the comments. Let's continue.
It's interesting in the clip that we just played, Matthew Brown doesn't come out and say, oh, this is definitely extraterrestrial. He's like, nothing that I know of can do this. He is what I would call responsibly careful in how he characterizes the videos that he has seen. Do you know how many of these videos, like when we look at the Tic Tac video, for example, it's easy, because it's a thermal imaging, it's hard to really discern what you're seeing. Do you have any sense of what this Immaculate Constellation program video archive contains and how unusual or explicit these videos are in terms of showing?
This is a great line of questioning from Ms. Elizabeth Vargas. And man, this is like part of the debate, right, over the last couple of days, because when Lou showed that picture, and we've been talking about how unreliable pictures and videos are becoming due to the AI era, but when he showed that picture, I think that either knowingly or unknowingly hurt this question that Elizabeth Vargas is asking, because even if there is that type of video or that type of data and it's shown to the public, the reaction is going to be very similar because of situations such as the Lou Elizondo situation yesterday. And other instances, I've seen countless UFO videos that are AI generated that look really good. And so now it's really impossible. So let's see what Jeremy says.
Showing things that are just not humanly possible right now.
Yeah, so that is an intense question, because I'll tell you this, when I come and I bring more people forward with George Knapp, because we have already recorded with other firsthand whistleblowers that we have yet to release. So I can promise you, people are coming forward, an army of people are coming forward. But the thing is, when you're talking about this footage, what you're seeing there, we need to become educated on. These are weapons platforms. It's better than an iPhone. What you're seeing in these videos, remember, last week, George and I released a new Tic Tac UFO video to the world that was military filmed. So this is getting out. What you're seeing are craft of unknown origin with advanced capability far beyond anything that we know humanity can make. Matthew is really smart with the way that he presents his words. When we don't know something, we don't know something, but that has always been the issue here. If it is not ours, if it is not China's, and it is not Russia's, how can it do what it's doing in all of these videos that we've accumulated? But our government is well aware. They've been reverse engineering it. That's why they call them non-human intelligence, because we know they're not ours. We know they're not from a terrestrial nation that we are aware of.
Any doubt we'll be seeing Matthew Brown testify soon?
You know, it's a great question. Wouldn't you love to see him testify?
I would.
I certainly would. But there's a number of other people that, again, we've recorded with, me and George Knapp, we have, and they're going to be coming out. So fingers crossed. This next hearing, we have an opportunity, and Congress is listening. They're watching this interview with Matthew Brown as it comes out. Next part is next week. They're watching. So we have an opportunity, and I hope we take it.
Yeah, definitely. If everything goes okay and whatever happened yesterday at that panel at the beginning doesn't affect the topic too much, because it's been quite the emotional response, and people have been yelling at each other all day because of what happened. But I think that it was expected to happen, because so many people are now starting to come forward just over the last week. And bear with me. We had Jim Semivan talking on the Soul Conference. We had 2 interviews from Jacques Vallée. We had Put Off on Rogan. We had Harold Malmgren. Yesterday we had this. So there's a lot of people coming forward. Eric Davis just spoke. Ana Brady Estevez just spoke. And she's been very overlooked. I am preparing a video of her presentation that I think was necessary for this panel. And I think it was a first ever that happened there, because I hadn't heard scientists in a public setting like this with members of Congress talking about being an experiencer. And that is what Ana Brady Estevez did. And she just released another episode of the Ecosystemics Future podcast, where she talks with Dr. Diana Pasolka and Hal Puthoff about all of these things, about human potential, and about topics that Dr. Hal Puthoff has been an expert of since his days in the remote viewing program on Stargate. So Dr. Puthoff is talking about everything now. And it's great, though. It's a lot of stuff. We have to go through a lot, especially people like me who do this for the channel. So, but it's fun. It's a lot of great new information that people need to be aware of. And I'm happy to do it. So I'm going to be doing that. But let me know what you think about this. Do you want Matthew Brown to testify? Do you think he should? And Corbell let it drop there. He's already interviewed more firsthand whistleblowers, and he's going to be dropping those also. So who are they? What did they see? What did they experience? We'll see what happens. And remember, it's on Tuesday. I would expect that high noon Pacific, as he says, we can expect the second part of that interview. I can't wait. But for now, that's it for me today. Leave me all your comments. Tell me what you think about what Corbell just said about Matthew Brown having firsthand knowledge of this program. Do you think that would help? Do you think it is firsthand knowledge? I think it is, because he's seen those. Whether those are real or not, that's a different question. But based on the classified setting and everything, I'm guessing they are, or they could be. But yeah, let me know in the comments. If you like the content you see, I'm going to ask you to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can get notified when new video drops. If you want to support the channel in any other way, I'm going to leave a few links in the description. You can also become a member, or you can support us on KGRA. Thank you for your help, as always. And that's it for me today on this video, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember to stay curious. Remember to stay inquisitive. Bye.